All right, we're back. We're ready for some more drafts. I did two during the day today. So while we wait, and again, real quick before we get into anything else, I'm still adjusting the audio and everything. I'm sure you guys have noticed that my sound quality has been pretty dog shit. The best one I had was yesterday. So we're getting close, but we still got maybe not a long way to go, but we still have some improvements to be made. So hopefully this is a little bit better than all times previous, but I really have no way of knowing until I watch it back. So we're gonna keep trying to figure it out, and one day we'll get to a point where we're pretty comfortable with our audio. While we're waiting for this draft to start, this is another it's not a puppy draft, it's not a best ball mania, it's just a normal, I'll show you, it's a normal 12-person draft league right here. 12-person, $30 in prizes. I realized that you guys probably can't see it because of my head, but here it is. $20 goes to first, $9 to second, and then third place gets their money back. So still have a chance of making money, not $75,000, but you can still make money off of your $3 entry, and and it's available all off season, so you don't have to worry about the puppy draft filling up like it already has. And we're probably gonna get another one, but in the meantime, we're gonna keep doing these for practice, for fun, for stream. We're gonna keep grinding away. So while this fills up, let's go to completed and check out the teams that Let's check out the teams that I made during the day today. I actually do like them quite a bit, for their own reasons. The first team more so than the second. So there's 4 people left to fill, so we're good. Let's see. These were the 2 we did on stream previously. Okay, so this is the first one I did. I was pick number 2. I went with Cooper Kupp right away. Kind of a standard pick right there. So obviously I was going to go for that Matt Stafford later on, the Matt Stafford stack. I went Alvin Kamara pick 2, and then pick 3 I went Keenan Allen. So the reason I picked Keenan Allen is, A, I think obviously he's going to have a good year, but B, it opens us up to having the possibility of doing a Justin Herbert and a Matt Stafford stack. That's what I was originally going for when I picked Keenan Allen. Unfortunately, someone sniped Justin Herbert from us, but that's okay. We recovered later on, and I'll show you how. Right here, Darren Waller was our 4th pick. So again, when you pick a player that's on a team with a quarterback that you believe is going to have a pretty good season, then you open up the possibility of having stacks. And what I notice I like doing is setting up multiple stacks. Multiple meaning more than 2, 3, 4 potential stacks being set up in your top 5 players will allow you to actually get stacks more frequently. Because if you're going for 1 stack or 2, then if someone snipes you, your whole draft is kind of thrown for a loop, and the stack potential goes right out the window. So I like to set up multiple stacks early on for that reason. So, we went with the Cooper Kupp was the Matt Stafford potential stack. Keenan Allen was a Justin Herbert potential stack. Darren Waller was a potential Derek Carr stack, because I think Derek Carr is actually a pretty good value right now at quarterback. I think he's severely undervalued, so I don't mind going with that stack. And being that he's undervalued, it allows us to put more draft capital up front. So, we had the opportunity to go David Montgomery. We went Drake London, Elijah Moore, Jameson Williams. We have had a lot of good wide receiver value in here. And then later on in the, 9-10 round area, we were able to fulfill our stacks with Matt Stafford and Derek Carr. So take a quick look, pause if you need to, but this is the first team we assembled. And I'll move on to the second. This is our second team. This is the first team I got CeeDee Lamb. And this is the first team I got Josh Allen without a Stephon Diggs stack. So I'm not really sure how that'll work out, but that's something we'll figure out as we go. I think I'm going to turn this down to 55. I think we're hitting the... I might even just go back to 50. We're going to go to 50 like we did yesterday. We're not peaking at all at 50, so let's try this. half volume, because the clarity is nice when I speak into the microphone like this, since I don't have wall or sound deadening wall inserts, I guess you could call them. So I have to speak right into the mic to not get echo, but being that I have to speak right into the mic, I have to turn my volume down quite a bit. Yesterday, I think my lo-fi music was a little too high, so we're going to try to fit the volume with lower lo-fi music. But anyways, back to this. You know, you can see it. Derrick Henry. Since I went with Derrick Henry right away, Derrick Henry and CeeDee Lamb were my first 2 picks, followed by Josh Allen and Marquise Brown. So I liked getting my solid starting running back and then kind of punting the rest of my running backs until that 5-6 round range, which I've said before. I really like that range for running backs because you can get your J.K. Dobbins and Josh Jacobs. And in my opinion, I feel like Josh Jacobs, J.K. Dobbins, Travis Etienne, Breece Hall, guys going in that range, I feel like if you pair 2 of them up together, you're effectively getting the same value you would out of if you picked a running back in the first round. Obviously not completely. They don't have as high of a ceiling, but on a week-to-week basis, I think it equalizes pretty well. And what that does is it frees you up to go more wide receiver heavy for the most part, or it allows you to take Josh Allen because he goes so early. So that's the method we went with. We went with that Dak Prescott stack with CeeDee Lamb. I tried my hardest to get Dawson Knox or Gabriel Davis but for the stack with Josh Allen, but it didn't work out. So I ended up, oh no, this isn't the team I got. Yeah, so I don't have a stack with Josh Allen, but that's okay. I have the stack with Dak Prescott and Josh Allen as just that elite talent. We had some pretty great values fall to us. We had Rachaad White fall 24 picks. We had Gus Edwards fall, 9 picks. What was the other crazy values we had? We had Kenny Golladay fall 10. Yeah, I mean, you can see it, but we had some people fall pretty far. Yeah, I feel like I can't find. I guess Rachaad White was that huge fall that we had. But anyways, these are our 2 teams that we drafted during the day. But we're gonna get started. They're already picking over here, so let's get right into it. I was picked 2 again. Took Cooper Kupp, probably would have took him anyway, so that's fine. I've been getting a lot of pick 2s lately. I had one earlier today, I had one yesterday on stream, and now we have a third one basically in a row. So I mean, I don't prefer it, but I can say we're at least getting the practice. So that's what we're here for, practice and fun. And our pick isn't going to delegate that. We're going to get practice regardless. We're going to have fun regardless. So taking Cooper Kupp basically 3 drafts in a row. I'm not in love with it. Not because of Cooper Kupp, but just because I'd rather switch it up for I don't know, keep it new, but that's okay. I got some pretty cool stuff in the mail today. Let me show you. It's going to go on my wall back here. I got these skate decks in that I was telling you about a few streams ago. They are TJ Hunt skateboards with all of his cars on them. I have 4 of them. I'm not gonna get up and show you all of them, but they're really cool. I have 4. One's a Mark 5 Supra, one's a Mark 4 Supra, and then one's his Lamborghini. So Travis Kelce makes it all the way to 12. I've been seeing that a lot more lately. I don't think there's a reason why, to be honest. I think it's just the draft rooms I've been in, so nothing too special here. Austin Eckler going over Christian McCaffrey is a little weird, but not that crazy. So we're off to a pretty traditional start. We're hoping to get some value to pair up with Cooper Cup down here when things shake out, but we'll see what happens. One sec, I gotta text my fiance. See what she says. She's out on some showings, showing some houses. She is a businesswoman, real estate agent, so who knows what she could need. Mark Andrews goes to the Dalvin Cook team. Again, very typical start. Nothing to worry about quite yet. So we're going to go into the board, see what it's looking like. We have DeAndre Swift falling pretty far. If he makes to us, we're taking him, but I have a feeling he will not. I'm definitely going to be looking for a running back here, though. Alvin Kamara goes. If we can weather DeAndre Swift one more pick, that would be lovely. Come on, Bobby Cox. Go T. Higgins. You want to go T. Higgins. Yeah, go T. Higgins. Don't even think about it. If you auto-draft DeAndre Swift, I'm going to be upset with you. I cannot stand when people get in these drafts and auto-draft. It just throws... Okay, he doesn't. He goes he goes T. Higgins, so we're going to go DeAndre Swift. That's pretty cool. DeAndre Swift never falls to the Cooper Cup team. Or, I'm not going to say never, but very, very infrequently. So, that's pretty cool. I wish this was a puppy tournament draft because that would be a more unique build, a build that isn't seen too often, but you know, it is what it is. Now, just as a reminder, this draft room, or this type of draft, being it's not a tournament, it's just a normal 12-person draft. You're really only going to beat, you're seeking to beat the people in this lobby that you're drafting against. So we're up again. And we're just going to go Saquon Barkley. I really like that start a lot. But as I was saying, you're really just shooting to beat the people in this lobby. So you don't need to go for crazy builds and you don't need to switch it up too much because you're not going for that $75,000 team. But, you know, having value fall to you is always nice. So we're going to take that all day long. In the comments, I want to hear who you're taking in the, like, if you're, let's just say, in this draft room. In this draft room, if you are sitting in this area, 1 through 5, in the second round, when you get this turn right here, you know, you go around first round, come back in this pick 20 to 24 range. Who are you looking for? Who are you hoping for? Because for whatever reason, I don't get excited by this range. I don't know why. I mean, I know we got a lot of good talent here, but I just feel like it always shakes out the exact same. So I really don't get excited about it. Who are you guys getting excited about when you're drafting in this area? I think for the most part, I try to go like Alvin Kamara or AJ Brown or Leonard Fournette, something like that. Obviously, DeAndre Swift if he falls to us. But I'd like to hear from you guys to see who you guys take in that range. Mike Williams goes to 34. That is the usual range he goes in. In one of the drafts I was in earlier, he went up in this 2-3 turn, which was kind of shocking. I don't know if he's really worth that. Can you guys hear that? I have 2 Huskies, and they are, when they play, they sound like they're trying to kill each other. So they're back there trying to kill each other. If you hear that noise, they're fine. They will be just fine. Is John Wick a auto drafter? I can't stand auto drafters. You see a little bit more of them in the $3 tournament or not tournament league entries, just because it's a lower dollar value and people don't care as much. I think a lot more times they try to let ADP pick their teams for them, which I don't know why. You're just throwing away all the fun potential. That's like the whole thing. So I don't know, but regardless, we are always going to pick our teams, and we are coming up here soon on our picks at pick 47. Now I think I'm going to try to go for a receiver here. Wow. Funsack is hammering receivers. He is not worried about the running back position at all. We're going to keep an eye on him and see what he does later on. I'm assuming he's going to go for a J.K. Dobbins, Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery type when it gets back to him in the 5th and 6th round. But we'll keep an eye on what his strategy is. A lot of times when you're in these drafts, especially when you're in the later rounds or when you're near a turn, you have a lot of time to kill. So just watch what people are doing and what builds are doing and try to learn from them. There's the crazy dogs, by the way. You can kind of see him. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Kind of see him back there. Who are we looking for? We're on the clock. He goes Justin Herbert. We're on the clock at pick 48. So we're just going to keep it simple and go... Jesus. We're going to keep it simple and go Jerry Jeudy. Now, if Allen Robinson makes it back to us, then we'll take him to go for the Matt Stafford double stack. Discount double stack. But if he doesn't, I'm not going to be too broken up about it. This guy has Jonathan Taylor, Keenan Allen, and Michael Pittman. My God. They are nuts. He goes Cam Akers, 2 receivers, 2 running backs. Who does he go here? Do I want Allen Robinson? That's the real question. I think Gabriel Davis is extremely overvalued. I like him. I just don't like him in that range. I'm really not rushing to get another running back right here. I do like Breece Hall and David Montgomery, but I'm not really rushing for one. So now we're basically picking between Gabriel Davis and Allen Robinson. Now the question is, who do I want? We'll let the time expire and go Allen Robinson. I don't love investing so heavily on two wide receivers at the same position on the same team in your first 5 picks. That's kind of where my hesitation was there. However, we could have went a Rashad Bateman. I think the uncertainty of if the Ravens are getting another outside wide receiver kind of shied me away from that pick. I guess I could have went Lamar Jackson, Rashad Bateman stack on that turn. Which maybe I preferred. Maybe I should have done that. But we're going to run with it. Let's look ahead to see where we can secure Matt Stafford. He's at pick 93. Let's go to our big board. We're going to be at pick 95. So let's hope he falls to us at 95. But if not, you know, we're going to move forward as usual. Maybe we try to take Russell Wilson at 77, where we were at 74. Do we reach? Maybe we reach on Russell Wilson to get the Jared Jeudy stack. I think that's what we do. We reach on Russell Wilson at pick 74 to go for the Jared Jeudy stack, just in case we don't get our Matt Stafford stack. And then we're still going to go for Matt Stafford stack as well. So in the meantime, I'll probably just be hammering wide receivers, being that there's no tight ends that I'm super interested in. Maybe we, if we get this Dalton Schultz at a good value, we'll go with him. But we are going to be at pick 71. And that is in Dalton Schultz range. So maybe we go Dalton Schultz, actually. I kind of do like that. And then that'll give us a potential Dak Prescott stack if... Well, probably not, actually. Dak Prescott's going at like 85, so it would be shocking if he made it back to us. And if he makes it back to us, that means Matt Stafford definitely made it back to us. So I don't really see a world where we get Dak Prescott, but that's okay. I still like Dalton Schultz, so we'll shoot for him around 71. I mean, obviously we'll check out the values in that area just in case there's someone falling, but if not, we'll plan on Dalton Schultz. That's kind of our plan of attack. But we're just keeping an eye out what's going on. Kyler Murray stacks with Marquise Brown. I like that. Marquise Brown is an interesting pick for me. I've been very shy to pick him this year. I mean, he's gonna have his spike weeks for sure. When you're drafting a receiver in round 3, I feel like you're hoping for more than just a couple spike weeks, and I really don't know if you're gonna get more out of him than infrequent spike weeks, just especially when DeAndre Hopkins comes back in week 7. So, and I think Rondale Moore is really good, and he's kind of on the come up as well. So, you know, I could be I'm not even saying that he's not going to produce. I'm just saying I don't know how consistent he'll be. And at pick 36, I'm looking for someone a little more consistent. And I would say like a Terry McLaurin, but I don't even know where Terry McLaurin's going to end up next year. It sounds like he's holding out. It sounds like DK Metcalf is holding out of minicamp. And it's all over contract disputes. So it's very possible that they don't start the season on the teams that they're on right now. They may get traded. Hopefully DK gets traded to the Ravens. I would take Terry McLaurin as well. But, I mean, they're going to play somewhere. It's just a matter of where. So, I mean, another thing is Terry McLaurin is on... I mean, they're both actually on pretty horrible teams. So, I don't think that's a reason to shy away from them as a pick just because even if they get traded, it's very probable that they get traded to a better team. So, with a better quarterback. So, if anything, you might be able to get them at a value if they were to get traded. But that's all ifs, ands, and buts. Let's check out what... God. Let's check out what the... what our room is looking like here. I feel like someone got... No. Didn't we say we're going to go for a Russell Wilson in this range? Yeah, we're going to reach on him next pick. So we're going to go Dalton Schultz right here. If we can. As long as Bobby doesn't take him. Bobby, what you doing? 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 3 wide receivers. You probably should get Antonio Gibson. Just go ahead and grab Antonio Gibson, get your second running back, and leave us Dalton Schultz. That would be great. If not, we'll probably go Drake London. He goes Drake London, so we're going to take Dalton Schultz, get our solid tight end. If you notice on one of the teams that I showed at the beginning of the stream, we had to go 3 tight ends, which I hate doing. I hate putting that many picks into tight end. Now, the advantage is when you're going 3 tight ends, that's assuming that you punted them for the beginning of the draft. But I still prefer having that solid tight end. The other picks I'm interested in, or the other picks I'm interested in here is Treylon Burks and Michael Thomas. But being that we have Jerry Jeudy, we're just going to go ahead and grab Russell Wilson, secure one of the stacks, balance out our team a little bit. And that'll open us up to hopefully going Matt Stafford at the next turn. If not, we still have that stack and elite talent at quarterback. That's the thought process there. I like let's see what Jamin's doing. Jonathan Taylor, Keenan Allen, Michael Pittman, Cam Akers. That's fine. I'm not a Michael Pittman fan. I'm not a Cam Akers fan, but there's arguments to be made for both of them. So, no problems there. But I like what he did in the last 3 picks. He went George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, and then stacked them with Trey Lance. Now, Trey Lance, that's a great double stack because A, you're stacking a tight end and a wide receiver with the quarterback, which I think is a lot better than 2 wide receivers, because they shouldn't be taken away from each other. So I like that. And then I like stacking them with a quarterback like Trey Lance, because even with his passing potential to his stack members, he also has running potential, which obviously rushing touchdowns count for 2 more points than passing touchdowns. So I really like that that series of events he went with right there. I'm just taking a look at some of the other teams and seeing what they're doing. No other teams I'm really super in love with. I mean, having Elijah Mitchell as your running back 1 is pretty scary. We don't know even if he's gonna. Sorry, you probably couldn't see that. Having Elijah Mitchell as your running back 1 is a little scary, because we don't even know if he's going to be the starting running back. I know Kyle Shanahan said he would be, but over the past 4 years, there's been 4 different starting running backs in San Francisco. So I'm not picking Elijah Mitchell with confidence anytime soon. We have a Tom Brady, Mike Evans stack right here. Tom Brady, Mike Evans. Sorry. No real other stacks, though. Justin Herbert doesn't have a stack. I mean, we do. First 1 and 2 pick do, but other than that... Oh, and the Kyler Murray, Marquise Brown. We talked about that a little bit as well. A stack isn't needed. You don't necessarily need one to have a successful team. I guess that may be obvious, but if it shakes out and you can shoot for them, usually you can and like I was talking about earlier, like if you have multiple receiving options with quarterbacks that you don't mind drafting, then usually one will work out, especially if you look ahead at your picks later down the road and see if the stack or if the quarterback that you're trying to stack falls in the range of picks, in like a 5-pick range of where you're going to be picking, then usually you can get one to work out if you think about it a little bit. So I mean, for the most part, I get at least 1 stack per draft, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is my first year in Underdog Fantasy, and the reason for that is same reason you see scrolling across the bottom of the screen. You can go to Underdog Fantasy, get started with making your first deposit, and anywhere from a $10 deposit to a $100 deposit will get matched 100%. So I put in $100. I got a free $100 in that same instance, and that enters you into. I mean, how I used to say it entered you into 40 puppy drafts, but now the puppy drafts aren't a thing for now. They will open back up, but for now they're not a thing. So you can get into 66 of these drafts. You can get into, what is that? 8 Best Ball Mania drafts. It gets you into a lot of drafts and opens you up to a lot of prizes, and it's a lot of fun. When you go in and make that deposit, use code FFX54 at checkout to support the channel. It allows us to get into a few more drafts, so check it out. And look at that. Matt Stafford fell to us. So that's an easy pick. I know I was going somewhere with what I was saying, but let me just think about this real quick, and then we'll touch back. I'm pick 98 next. As much as I want to go Kareem Hunt, I probably shouldn't. Or should I? You know what? I think I do, actually. I'm going to go Kareem Hunt. Both of our running backs are injury prone, so I don't mind putting a little bit of draft capital into their backup. I know Kareem Hunt is a handcuff running back, but There's also a possibility that he gets traded. Not a probability, but a possibility. And even if he doesn't, he usually finishes around the running back 23 area, even with Nick Chubb healthy. And if Nick Chubb isn't healthy, then he shoots up the board to a top 10 running back weekly. So the other 2 picks I was looking for there was Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson. I think he just went, Garrett Wilson. But I'm not in love with it. And being that we have the wide receivers that we do and the stacks that we do, I'm okay with going Kareem Hunt right there. I'm trying to remember what I was saying with the whole Underdog fantasy thing. Oh, I was saying something about how I was still learning. And that's why we're doing these drafts, because if you're only drafting once or twice a year for your family, friend, office league, you're going to be bad at drafting. And you're going to limit your chance of winning money, and B, your fun, just because winning is fun. Feeling like you picked a good team is fun. Drafting a good team is fun. Drafting in general is fun. So, I don't know. If you want to have fun, just get on Underdog Fantasy. I don't have to explain myself any more than that. Get on Underdog Fantasy and have some fun. I don't know why that's so difficult. But let's look at the big board. Let's see who we're at. Picks 119 and 122 next. So we're gonna be looking for wide receivers and tight ends. Tim Patrick double stack is looking mighty fine. Okay, this is an opinion I want to hear from you guys as well. 2 double stacks. How do we feel about that? I don't like triple stacks ever. I never go triple stacks. If I already have 2 players on the same team, other than the quarterback, so quarterback and 2 other receiving options, I don't ever go triple stack. I think your ceiling is capped. But how do we feel about 2 double stacks, especially when it's your first 4 wide receivers? Tell me how we feel about that, because I'm a little wishy-washy on it. I think it definitely has its pros and cons, but I'm not too sure. I've been liking Jameson Williams in this 120 range. He's going to miss the beginning of the season, but when he comes back, he'll be a wide receiver 1. And if you see him in college, he's incredible. So, and I also think that the Lions offense is going to be a lot better than it was last year. So he's always an option. If there's a value that falls, obviously that's an option. But if Tim Patrick is available, I think I will try to go with that double stack. But I still want to hear from you guys about how you feel about that, just because maybe I'm overlooking something. Maybe I'm capping my ceiling by doing that. So just let me know. But back to the board. Robert Woods is another player that's been a sneaky love for me. Obviously Treylon Burks is going way ahead of him. He's going to be the assumed wide receiver 1 on that offense, but I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that Treylon Burks just hops on the field and is the wide receiver 1 right away. There's reports that he is having a little bit of struggles in training camp with his health. Nothing too serious, but it sounds like there may be some stuff going on. And even if there's not, Robert Woods gets no respect. He never gets respect. He didn't get respect. He got dumped off like a bag of trash from Los Angeles. And he's just a phenomenal player. He is a gadget player. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. He's reliable when he's not injured. I mean, I guess that's a sense of reliability, but I really like Robert Woods. And I think he might be the wide receiver 1, and you might be able to get him at a value. We'll wait to see what Bobby Cox does here. He goes Rondale Moore. Now, the question is, do we go Rob Gronkowski? Like, I don't even know if Rob Gronkowski's playing. I don't love Rob Gronkowski. I don't love Pat Freiermuth. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Jameson Williams and Tim Patrick. That'll make me feel a lot better about the wide receiver room. Yeah, we're going to do that. We are going to do that as long as Tim Patrick doesn't get taken here, which he might. But I like having another wide receiver that isn't on the Rams or the Broncos. And I was definitely going to pick Tim Patrick to go for the double stack. And if I went Rob Gronkowski, then I would have had all Denver and Rams receivers through my first 4 receivers. So it just doesn't feel... I feel like my ceiling is severely capped when I do that. However, going 2 wide receivers right here, I think I'm going to go and try to do a running back and a tight end at the next turn. But we're going to stick to the plan and do Tim Patrick. Now we have 2 double stacks with Russell Wilson and Matt Stafford with some elite receiving options. So I really like the start of this team. We also have DeAndre Swift and Saquon Barkley. So we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty balanced. We have a solid tight end. If we draft a tight end next turn, then I'm comfortable sticking with 2 as opposed to 3. I really try to avoid 3 tight ends because the tight end position, you could get 3 tight ends, you could draft 3 and still have a shit week. They still could all drop 3 points, especially when you wait towards the end rounds. When you start to get into the these rounds down here, I don't know. Being that this is our first season on Underdog, I'm kind of trying a bunch of different strategies out, and we're going to see how they work out, and we'll learn from that and we'll move forward. But that being said, this is not my first year of fantasy football. I have a very good understanding of, a very good basic understanding of what's going on. But we're living, we're learning, and we're having fun. Rob Gronkowski falls all the way to 127. That probably has something to do with the fact that we don't even know if he's coming back next season. He's still considering retirement. I doubt it, especially since Tom Brady is only going to have 1 more year in the league for sure. I mean, nothing's for sure for him, but he already fake retired once, so it's pretty likely he only has 1 more season left. So Rob Gronkowski might give it a go 1 more season, but that might be why you're seeing him fall a little bit. I actually don't mind this team right here too. I'm not really drafting Dalvin Cook in too many leagues just because of his health concerns, but if he's on the field, he's a proven elite talent. Dalvin Cook, you immediately go for the balance with Mark Andrews. DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, Treylon Burks, Sky Moore, all could be phenomenal receivers, give you a lot of points. And then you go with a J.K. Dobbins, Melvin Gordon, James Cook, Rashad White to get a pretty solid middle of the pack group. And Jalen Hurts to hold you down at quarterback, which being that he's a rushing quarterback, you can get away with having just 1 elite quarterback option in your quarterback room. So I like that team as well. This one, not so much. Wide receivers are fine. Tom Brady's sag is good. Kyle Pitts, whatever. But your running back room is extremely weak. Zeke, Tony Pollard, Devin Singletary, Rashad Penny. I mean, if your guys can stay healthy, you're still at a severe disadvantage, especially because Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard are on the same team, and you're pretty much going to have one or the other. You probably should have went with someone on a different team, being that it was your running back too. But to each their own. To each their own. Fiance texted back. Let's see what she said. What do you think she said, stream? I have a situation. Oh, God. I might have to go to mute myself and figure out what this situation is. I'll blast the lo-fi and continue drafting, and then we'll catch back up. But just like much you, we're always going to be there for the family. I'm sure you guys can understand. She doesn't usually say stuff like that, so I'm not really sure what that means. But our pick is coming up. We're looking for a running back and a tight end. Let's see who's on the board. I've been liking Irv Smith a lot, so I'll probably go with him if I can. See, this is where I'm not going for the Alberto stack, because I don't want triple stacks. It's too much. If I didn't have Tim Patrick, maybe I should have looked ahead, not taken Tim Patrick, and went for the Alberto stack, but I'm okay with Irv Smith here. He got a little bit forgotten about due to his injury last year. And before his injury, he was... Bobby Cox seems to think so as well. Before his injury, he was looking really good, so I'm not surprised there. We're gonna go Cole Kmet. I like Cole Kmet this season as well. I think he's option number 2 on the Bears offense as far as the passing game goes. So we'll go with Cole Kmet. I'm not gonna say our tight end room is set, but I don't have to take another tight end. But I'm definitely not. It's definitely not the best tight end room. It's good, Naheem Hines. I think he'll have spike weeks. They said in Indianapolis they're going to try to get him involved a little bit more. I don't know how accurate that is. I think they will be passing a little bit more now that they have a quarterback that they can trust in Matt Ryan, more so than Carson Wentz. But even last year with Carson Wentz, he had his spike weeks, and that's really what you're looking for here. And we just got to trust that Saquon and DeAndre Swift are going to stay healthy, which, you know, I'm not super confident in trusting that, but sometimes you got to. So we'll go to the big board. We're 167 and 170. So we'll be around here. We'll be around there. And we really got to start hammering these wide receivers. We really got to start taking some more wide receivers here. That's the only position we're a little bit pressed on right now, which is okay. I mean, that's why we're maintaining this balanced team. So when you're maintaining a balanced team, you know, you're going to go back and forth from being pressed at different positions. But I'm going to go on mute right here and take this call. All right, that was her. She's having a little bit of car trouble. I told you she was out showing some houses, and she has the mud guard underneath her car. Fell off. The way she was explaining it, I thought she had a flat tire, but she sent me a picture, and it looks like the plastic cover on the underbelly of her car came undone, which is actually not that big of a deal. So I told her to give it a tug, throw it in the back of her car, and should be fine. Let's see. Oh wait, let me turn this back down. There, you probably can hear me a little better now. Okay. So we're gonna hammer some wide receivers on the way back through. Will Fuller is going earlier and earlier, which is unfortunate just because that was a value we were grabbing quite a bit. But lately we haven't been, just because people are starting to realize that he is quite a value. Once he gets on a team, he's going to shoot up in rankings around this range right here. 10th round. Robert Woods, Tyler Boyd range is where he'll go once he joins the team, which I'm sure he will. That's why I've been betting a lot on Will Fuller, Odell Beckham Jr., Julio Jones, just as elite free agents. I know some of them are getting older, if not all of them, but they're not going to all start the season as a free agent. We're on the clock again. Wow. Oh, God. When's our next pick? 190. There's no wide receivers in this range. 190. That's all the way down here. Oh, man. Our wide receivers are looking rough. We're going to go Curtis Samuel. I mean, I feel like we have to go wide receiver. Let's think about this for a second. I mean, I could go another tight end, but man, maybe we go a running back to just lock that down. I'm going to take this call one more time, though. That was her again. I started this draft off really hot, and I'm really just feeling worse and worse about it. I mean, I like our starting players, but the wide receiver room I feel like I've been trying to make up for for a while, just because we grabbed so many double stacks or so many people on the same team. I think I decided that 2 double stacks is too much. A single and a double, fine, but 2 double stacks might be a little bit too much. So we might not do that as much in the future. How many picks are we away? We're 12 picks away. Let's pull up the big board. You guys can still see that. It gets hard when it gets down here because I can't scroll up anymore, and then I start blocking it. Julio Jones goes off early. This guy he has the same opinion on the free agents as I do. So hopefully he might grab OBJ on the way back through. I would like to get Hayden Hurst. I think if he falls to us, I would grab him just to shore up the tight end room a little bit more. And there's really, I don't know. My wide receivers are looking rough. I think I punted them a little too late. Not even that, honestly. I think I just needed to go. Which way was this going? This way, this way, this way, this way. Maybe I should have went with, like, Brandon Cooks here. No, I would have liked Rashad Bateman. I should have went Rashad Bateman right here. Boom, boom. And then the rest would have been fine. I should have went Rashad Bateman as opposed to Allen Robinson. And then I wouldn't have felt like I was making up. I wouldn't have made these 2 picks. I probably would have went with another running back here as opposed to 2 wide receivers. But I don't think this is a bad team. I just don't know if it's my favorite team. And this is why we do these drafts. This is why doing so many drafts is important, because every single time you learn. And even if you do 100 drafts, if you're in a different position every time, then you're really only getting exposure to each spot a few times. So you can't, I mean, drafting at pick 2 is completely different than drafting at pick 7, which is completely different than drafting at pick 11. So if you have a ton of practice at pick 2, and then when you go to do your office league and you get randomized to pick 11 or 12, you have no experience. And it doesn't sound like a big deal, but players in those ranges are, if you're not familiar with them, you don't have any familiarity with it. So you don't really know who to go for. And especially when you have a 30-second pick clock, it's not a lot of time to learn and scheme and decide what you're going to do. You kind of need to know the players a little bit. You don't need to, I guess, but if you do know the players, if you know off the top of your head that Tua goes at 134, and you know off the top of your head that, that Matthew Stafford goes around round 8, and you can try to grab him there. And if you have an idea of where all these players go, you can kind of scheme in your head what your plan is. And then it allows you to make on-the-fly decisions a little better because you know what your options are. Odell Beckham Jr. goes off the board, unfortunately. I was definitely going to try to go with him. John Mechie goes off the board. I was going to try to go with him. So this middle guy, X9, punted receivers pretty far, which I would like that more in a fantasy, like in a normal fantasy draft, but in a best ball, I think receivers are far more valuable. I mean, that's why he's just killing these receivers at the end. He went with 5 in a row, but I don't really love that. I don't love that strategy. And Hayden Hurst did make it back to us, so we're going to go with a 3rd tight end. Do we just go 9 wide receivers and hope that our... I don't think we can do that. Do we prefer AJ Green or Kendrick Bourne? How many picks do we have left? 2. Should we just go AJ Green? Ugh. Yeah, we'll just go AJ Green. I'm not happy about it, but he might give us a week that we can use. Got a lot of these old heads here falling at the end. We'll be feeling a lot better when we get past the first 5 weeks and Jameson Williams comes back. We'll be sitting a lot prettier, but in the beginning of the season, when we basically all of our starting wide receivers are on 2 teams, the reason I'm so uncomfortable with that is not because of the bye week, but because of the fact that usually one of the receivers is gonna pop off and the other one won't. So if Cooper Kupp goes for 30 points, great, but odds are Allen Robinson went for 5, so you're not gonna be able to use his score. It's usually gonna be one or the other. So those 4 players are pretty guaranteed good games on a weekly basis, but you're going to get 2 good games instead of 4. Whereas if you have 4 separate wide receivers on 4 separate teams, you're open to having 4 pop-off weeks. I mean, that's not to say you can't have a week where both of them pop off, but it's a lot more unlikely. They likely would have to be playing a pretty bad team. So it's a lot less safe. I don't like the double stack. I'm learning. I really don't like. I like the double stack. I don't like 2 double stacks. I think I should have stopped with Matt Stafford and Allen Robinson, and then when it came to Tim Patrick, I should have just let him go. I should have let him go. Went with Gronkowski, and then that would have opened me up to not have to take Cole Kmet, and I could have went with another wide receiver there that was in the range. In this range as opposed to this range. The Curtis Samuel, Sammy Watkins, AJ Green range is, I mean, that's a dart throw. That these guys are very unlikely to give you usable weeks on a week to week basis. We have a 2-4-8-3 build. I told you I don't like taking 3 tight ends, but I did. And maybe that was a mistake too. But I think Hayden Hurst was a better option than any of the remaining wide receivers, which is why we did it. My dog is being very sassy to me. She needs my attention. I'm just debating if I go for a 10th or a 9th wide receiver and just trust my 4 running backs that I have. Because in reality, these running backs in this range just really aren't going to do much, whereas opposed to the wide receivers in this range are very likely to do something. Go with the Romeo Dobbs or oh, he went Bryan Edwards. We're really scrolling down here. I think we may take a shot on another wide receiver and just leave the running back room at 4. That's a super, was it hyper fragile running back room? But given the circumstances, I think that is the right recovery play. Now, the question is who we take. Question is who we take. It's very possible that I take another shot on Romeo Dobbs if he's available. I do like the chances with him. He's a 4th round draft pick for the Green Bay Packers, and the Green Bay Packers are in a desperate need of. Look, whoa, hold on. The Green Bay Packers are in desperate need of finding some go-to receivers. I'm not convinced Allen Lazard is it. Oh my god. And I'm not really convinced anyone there is it. But if Devin Duvernay is available, I think he's a way better pick than Romeo Dobbs. So if he's available, we'll take him. If not, we'll take Romeo Dobbs. they're all just kind of shots, right? I mean, Justin Ross is kind of in the same boat as the two I just mentioned. You're just kind of hoping that one really ends up sticking out at summer camp and training camp, and they step up into the role. But likely is not the word I would use for any of them. And we're going to go Romeo Dobbs with our last pick. I love the way it started. I don't love the way it ended. For all the reasons I previously mentioned, I think our wide receiver room, we were constantly playing catch up because of that double stack. I think the tight end picks, I didn't necessarily... Maybe I shouldn't have. I'll say that. I shouldn't have went with a third option. Now, the good news is, if multiple tight ends do well in a given week, then we can use one of their scores for flex option. But odds are that's not going to happen. And even if it does happen, you're probably going to have a receiver. I mean, the tight end popping off is like 10 points. So you're probably not going to bank on that. So I think we were playing catch up with wide receiver for the remaining draft. I will say, if DeAndre Swift and Saquon Barkley can stay healthy, then we'll probably be fine with only going 4 running backs. But if anything happens to them, this is just a throwaway team, because Kareem Hunt and Nyheim Hines isn't gonna put up enough points per week. But that was a draft. I appreciate you guys for coming out. I appreciate you guys watching. Obviously we're living, we're learning. If you have any comments on the questions that I presented during the stream, let me know. I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. Drop a like if you can. Again, as always, sign up for Underdog Fantasy. Get you a free $100. Your first deposit, anywhere from $10 to $100, will be matched 100% in that same moment that you make the deposit. And when you make that deposit, use code FFX54 above my head and down below. It supports the channel. It allows me to get into some more drafts and stream them for you guys. And if we get enough people doing that, then maybe we'll start entering the Best Ball Mania and big dog drafts. But other than that, it allows you to have a lot of fun, gives you some good practice. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Now, the thing I do have going for me is I do know a pretty decent amount about players, just because I'm addicted to football and I watch updates and listen to podcasts all year long, just because I'm a crackhead when it comes to this. So those are my credentials, I guess. We're new to fantasy football, but we're just applying our knowledge to a fantasy aspect. But again, always open for information, always open for suggestions. Again, I really appreciate you guys coming out. I'm going to try to do another stream tonight, but we'll see how this whole card trouble thing works out. I'm sorry for a little distracted, a more distracted stream, but I got to be there for my fiance, especially when something's going wrong like that. So I appreciate you guys understanding. We're going to keep moving forward and progressing with the audio situation. I hope this audio was good too. I hate when I go back and listen to an hour-long stream and the audio is horrible. So hopefully this audio is good. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.